Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to the studio tonight for our detox. We got about 9 minutes or so. About 9 minutes until we start practice. So if you're just logging on and getting things together in your space, we got a little bit of time. If you have anything that you'd like to share, you could always use the live chat on the YouTube. If you're feeling anything in your body, and if you just want to give me any information about that, you can chat it out in the YouTube video here. Andre, good evening. Hey, Roz. Yeah, news today. Seems like we are on our way to opening the studio again, which will be so nice to be able to have people back in the space. Studios here in Los Angeles closed on March 16th, so they've set the date for this Friday. However, we're going to be, working on things. They gave you a, matter of 2 days, so we just definitely got to get everything in order, whatnot, get everybody back into the space and ready to go. And so we'll be looking at something next week. We'll be sending out an email as we can share that information. But we're very excited to have people back in the studio again. It's clean. It's ready to go. And just a reminder, you guys have expressed about the detox class and how you appreciate that. So, typically our schedule includes a few detox classes throughout the week. We're going to be reintroducing a schedule. It won't look the same as before COVID and the pandemic, but we'll be reintroducing a schedule, and there will be detox classes in there. So I'm going to figure out a way to record those, and I will keep you guys posted. Obviously, on social media is probably a great way to stay tuned for anything that's coming up live. I'll always try to post when a live class is coming up, but you know that they'll be here on the channel anyhow. So, now that we've got this live thing pretty much down, we know how to put up almost 200. I don't know how many classes there are. There could be almost a couple hundred out there now. Um, I think we can keep it going relatively smoothly, and we can all stay connected and, in this dramatic and exciting season of flow and a lot of change. And I know that everybody is, feeling a lot, and we're starting to move a little bit more, and the transition from stillness, if we go back, like, it'll be a trip to go back and take some of these classes, that we put out there, day 2, day 5, 10th day of the lockdown, and yet we've been doing it every day and continue to show up, do our best, live with our hearts, become better listeners, right? Act with integrity, clarity, compassion, and a lot of love. Ari, good evening. Brian Boone, you said it this morning. Your alarm still goes off for your exchange shift. Well, looks like next week that exchange shift could be back on, so stay tuned. We're waiting to hear from the Los Angeles County Public Health, and today they said that the opening is slated for this Friday, but they're going to be putting out their guidelines. So California put out its guidelines last Friday, and tomorrow LA County will be putting out their guidelines. So obviously we want to keep everybody clean and safe, but also open the space back up to the energy, all of you. Era, we should ask, so Ari's been doing, I think, almost every single class during the quarantine, and we hadn't met before this. His cousin comes to the studio, and I think that's how he found out about it. So Era's expressing quite a few things that she's feeling in her body, and I think we've all been in that place. There's a lot of practice, a lot of things that are going on through your body, and so there's great ways to stay in the practice and stay on the mat, but we're not trying to get anywhere fast. We're not trying to fix anything, but the system of your body, needs to be broken down just like any other system. I'm a big believer, you know, systems are built up over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years as we're all observing, and they need to be broken down. Those systems that we build up inside of ourselves need to be broken down. And so as you're breaking them down, you know, especially in these classes, the detox get pretty deep. You're going to inflame. You're going to have moments in where you feel that achiness and that residual effect. And the body just, its way of, excuse me, when your body inflames, it's its way of healing itself. And so you don't have to go back and keep stretching it. If you're getting that achy sensation, you know, your body just said, hey, this was something that needed to reorganize. It broke itself down, or, you know, your guidance and your breath and, you know, partially me, you know, contributing to your guidance through the instruction, something needed to be broken down, and then the body's going to come back in to repair it and build it back up. Emily, good evening. Yeah, so rest is important, you know, as Ari's saying, and I remember, you know, when you're really feeling it, you'll still come to your mat. You know, there's the beauty of, you know, lying there and absorbing and still being a part of the energy. People always think, oh, I just can't do it, or, you know, I have to stop. This isn't going to the gym. There's a different quality and energy that we're all, you know, tying ourselves into, tethered, if you will. And so you're a part of that, whether you're lying down, doing all the poses, doing half the poses. Now the difference is, you know, understanding when your mind is just making that excuse and it doesn't want to do something, you should still breathe, continue to listen to your breath and do it. But when your breath is there and you're in that mindful state, but your body is really calling for something different or an adjustment or a rest, then rest. But you can figure it out within yourself in regards to my mind's making an excuse, it just doesn't want to do this right now. Or is this a mindful rest? I'm aware and present with what my body and what my mind needs. And if it doesn't bring you to peace, then you might be going in the wrong direction. It should ultimately settle you towards or in the direction of peace. All right, we got 1 minute, you guys. So if you got your block, if you have your pillow, blanket, your stack, anything that might support you throughout the next 60 minutes, of which you have no idea, which I admire about all of you. You have no idea, other than the space of being on your mat, what you're necessarily getting yourself into. So we learn so much that way. And for whatever reason, if you found this to be a safe space, I thank you. You know, always hope to hold up in the integrity of the practice, and so that you can have your experience. The experience of the yogi is the one that, you know, sits within. So remove anything that you might be sitting on. Turn away from the top of your mat, and then lie down onto your back. So your feet are toward the top of your mat. Lie down onto your back, and your body will give you some. You might feel things that you didn't even notice when you were sitting up or when you were standing. Make any adjustments, and so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable. And let your arms relax out. Loosen the neck and the shoulders. You can roll on your head a couple times, side to side. I believe I mentioned it this morning, but the continuation, flow is change, change is flow. And the breath is the reminder that it's never the same thing twice. As we continue to land in moments more present and less distracted, with our full hearts, in celebration of our beautiful minds. And then within your beautiful mind, understanding and that you have this tool, you have a practice now. Let your head settle its center in where you can effectively and almost immediately calm your central nervous system. Like right now. You stay here and observe your breath, you guys. Take a few more. And then go ahead and bend your legs, please. Bring your feet flat onto the mat. And let's take your left leg, wrap it over your right leg so it's like an eagle leg. You know, when you bind the legs together and your inner thighs touch. And feel a wave of a breath roll through your body. Keep your hips heavy, and then we'll take the right hand and grab onto your left foot. And take your left hand, reach down, and grab onto your right ankle or your right foot. Square your shoulders the best you can. And feel your hips weighted down into the ground. You notice if your jaw got tight, your face became tense. And let that soften any attachments that you're feeling, stress in your chest. And reminder in Detox, you're not pulling, even when you're connecting parts of your body together. We're not pulling or trying to deepen the sensation of the stretch. We're kind of meeting a stalemate and just closing the circuit in this case and letting the body work it out within itself. You're welcome to close your eyes. And if you've been doing the last few days of practice, feeling your glutes, your hamstrings, as your hips are opening, sometimes you're going to feel the practice in your low back, but it should be more of a general, like a sensation you can wave your hand over, but you really can't pinpoint. It's not sharp and shooting. Those types of sensations are okay. Body repairs itself. If you get more of a sharp shooting sensation Right, that might be something a little bit different. You may be presented with a certain challenge in your mind, feelings in your fingers or in your wrist and your forearms. Hey, that's just tightness. And so watch it. Sometimes that tightness is going to become a little more intense. Sometimes you'll feel the release and it's less intense. But you can stay with that. And remember, when you have the circuit closed, which just means energetically your hands are connected to a part of your body, and so energy isn't running out, it's probably going to feel a little bit heavier in your chest, which means it might feel a little bit lighter when we release. And so go slow and start to let your feet and your ankles slide out of your hands, uncross your legs, and then let them go out straight onto your mat. And big toes out, you can rest your hands onto your belly. It might feel good to take a little sigh this evening. And through your awareness, and through your admission, through your invitation of change, you might be a little bit okay with what's feeling like it's breaking down, breaking apart, opening up. And then who knows where it goes from there as far as building it back up. That's kind of the enriched layer of awakening, is that you can awaken to the space, you can awaken and feel the surrender, and surrender of your beliefs, and surrender of your conditioning, and surrender of things that you think you knew. And so that you can draw yourself into that place of openness. The I don't know is a good place to start listening. Bring your feet back onto the mat, please. And we're going to come into a cattail twist. So it's a little bit on the setup. Left ankle to your right thigh, like you're doing thread the needle. And then start to move your hips to the left. And then draw your so you're in the twist. Right hand is going to set gently on the outer left thigh. Lift your head, your cattail is your right leg. So curl the heel up towards your bum. Reach down with your left hand for the top of the foot. Slide the knee down your mat. And now all we do, again, this is a closed circuit, is on legs. And then the twist can deepen as you let your left shoulder come back down towards the ground. It's normal if you're feeling a lot, if you're feeling like jamming effects in your pelvis and your hips and they're really tight. And find a position where you can remain still. And begin to see it all as sensation again, if it's that generalized versus sharp shooting. And see it all as sensation. And once you're there, avoid any fidgets, voluntary movements. And then just watch, observe, listen. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. You can really feel the twist go a little bit deeper if you let the exhale go out of your mouth. Nice and easy. Start to let the hands and slide off the legs. You feel this shift as we start to roll the hips out of the twist. As you make your pelvis back flat and square, bring the soles of your feet together. And we'll take a little rebound in reclining butterfly pose. So shift your sacrum so it's flat. It's the triangular bone at the base of your spine. Soles of your feet together. And let your knees fall apart. Right hand onto your belly, left hand onto your chest. You might feel good to take one of those deeper breaths and let out a sigh on your exhale. Feeling a bit of lightness. Feeling even a little bit of joy with your peace. Start to bring your knees back up towards each other. And set the soles of your feet flat into the mat. You know, since I can't see you guys, I give you two options here. Your point is to compress, so above your stomach. And so option A, and just bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands or your arms around your shins. And you can sit here in double wind relieving. Option B, you don't want to put the weight into your neck. You want the weight and distribute it across your shoulders. But you can come into a plow pose. And so arms by your sides, knees into your chest. Use your hands and then start to roll into your upper back. So not the neck, the upper back. Hands can support you around your waist and your low back. And so see, the hips are over the shoulders. Not putting any weight into the neck. And then the feet are coming down towards the ground. You're going to feel your stomach and your internal organs now and drop down into your diaphragm. So if you're feeling it in your neck, please don't do it. Go back to option A. And we'll get a little bit more challenging and to breathe. And because you are compressing the diaphragm, but that's also what we're doing. Release.
if you were in the plow, and hands to your low back, okay, or your hips, and then slowly and start to roll yourself back one vertebra at a time. And as you bring your hips back down onto the floor, you go ahead and release your feet. Okay, everybody, legs stretch out long. And take a breath and then roll over onto your belly. And so we're going to catch this rebound in the belly shavasana. Over onto your stomach with your legs out straight behind you. Arms by your sides, and then you can turn your right cheek down onto the mat. Should feel good. And relax the feet, and the kneecaps into the ground, your hips. And feel any response in your low back, hopefully your middle spine, all the way up underneath your shoulder blades. And of course, relaxing your jaw. And there's absolutely no rush. If you feel great, stay for another 30 seconds. When you're ready, chin back, and we'll make our way into a child's pose. And bum to your heels, knees wide, and forehead towards the earth. And relax in the child's pose once your forehead comes down. The elbows on the ground. And release your belly through your inner thighs, please. And see what's happening through your mind when you give your mind space. When you sacrifice or you surrender in some of your conditions and your comforts. You notice how you can be a little bit more open to acknowledging, all the energies without judgment. And everything that you're feeling, every thought that passes through your beautiful mind. Bring yourself back, take a breath, and slowly make your way up to all fours. And then feel your body, feel your belly. Open your mouth and sigh all the air, empty your lungs. And so now we're facing the back of the mat. Rock off to your left hip and swing your legs around. And let's make our way back and lie down onto your back and relax your shoulders, please. Let your legs release. And take your arms by your sides. And you're back in your Shavasana. If we could only be hyper aware of all the cycles that exist, and all the times that we've repeated a cycle, in the moments in where you break a cycle, where you break a condition, where you rewire in part of your central nervous system.
these moments of stillness could be pretty close to allowing you to see. And the flow is change, the change is flow. And the beauty is life. Life includes all of us. And it's a process. This too is a process. You can feel your body so far tonight. Take your arms over your head. Give yourself a big stretch. Point your toes. Bend your legs. Bring your feet back flat onto the mat. And then, like eagle legs, wrap your right leg over your left so your inner thighs touch. So all we've done is we've taken the right foot to the left and the left foot to the right. And so draw your knees into your chest a little bit. And connect your right hand to your left ankle or foot. And connect your left hand to your right ankle or foot. And let your hips be heavy. Reset your shoulders and your head. You can take a deep breath here and feel the exhale, and then we'll settle and continue to soften for about one more minute. Please remember when you're practicing yoga, it's not what's going on around you, it's not what's being said. It's paying with more attention to everything and that is changing inside of you, and restructuring and organizing, and breaking down and then healing, and opening up into the opportunity of trust. And sometimes you got to go through some really drawn out phases of not trusting, not knowing, being confused. And you slide the hands off of the feet. And then bring your feet down, uncross your right leg. And you might get that belly breath to release. And exhale your legs long, coming into a Shavasana. Rest your hands on your belly. You nurture your body with stillness. And you may just find stillness and to be one of your greatest teachers. And think about it. What are your teachers and people guiding you, offering you? And that's in the ability to slow down if you're willing to come on board. And slow down, then you have the opportunity to experience and the beauty of the change and the beauty of the flow. And bring yourself back, feel a breath. And bend your legs so that your feet are flat. And let's take the right ankle to the left thigh, just above the knee. And take your hips over to the right, and we're going to come into that cat-tail twist. And so roll your right knee across your chest. Left hand to your outer right thigh. And you might lift your head, curl your left heel in, and reach down for the top of the foot with your right hand. So again, you're closing in the circuit, which means you might feel and become a little bit more aware of your heart and space in your chest. And once you got the hands connected, and let your shoulders roll back flat or best you can. And set your head. If it's just too much and you are struggling on the first side, you could always put a pillow or a block underneath your head. That might help a little bit. But always intuitively, even when we're in classes together, this practice is very intuitive, and so ways that you can insert props and such, and so that you don't have to hold on in strength, and so that you can release and really learn in the opposite of what most people suggest that you do. Take 3 breaths right where you are. Let the exhales go out of your mouth. And that might drop you into the twist a little bit deeper. And you can just let the hands slide off the legs. And close the eyes as you unravel the twist. And definitely you can feel that in your bum as you roll your hips square. Bring the soles of your feet together, coming into a rebound in your reclining butterfly pose. Knees fall apart. And take your right hand on your belly, take your left hand on your chest. And go ahead and bring your knees back up towards each other so your feet are flat. And remember, you have two options. Knees into your chest, hands onto your shins. Even if you did the plow on the first time, you don't have to do it again on this side. And if you'd like to come into plow, hands down, and then roll your hips. And so they stack over your shoulders and your armpits, but we're not putting any weight in the neck. You want to avoid turning your gaze side to side here. And support as you rest the pelvis on top and let your feet drape over towards the ground. And weight across the shoulders and no weight in the neck.
you're in plow. Hands to your low back. Carry your hips. And slowly start to roll yourself back, one vertebra at a time. Everybody release your feet down onto the ground. And take that breath, straighten your legs, and then let's roll over onto our bellies, please. And catch a belly shavasana. As you come around this time, left cheek on the mat. Arms by your sides. And let your belly release into the floor. Relax your low back. And enjoy. Just take a breath. When you're ready, you can stay for a few more. And then chin down, hands underneath. And we'll meet in a child's pose, please. Knees mat width apart. Bum to your heels, forehead to the mat. And feel the state of your being once you get to your child's pose. And so often in our practice, we feel like we're in a place we've never been before. And it's a testament into your willingness and to show up and to not know where necessarily the practice is going to go. And so as much as you all give, as much as you continue to give and put out, this is an opportunity, and you can share this opportunity with anybody, because here we get to receive. And here you get to recharge. And here you get to feel the light coming on. And here you get to be you. Slowly make our way back up to all fours. And feel a sigh if you'd like a little sip of water. Before you lie down onto your back, you are welcome to take a sip. And then swing your legs around in front and lie down onto your back as we come full circle through 2 half circles. Full circle in your final resting pose tonight, Shavasana. Lie down, open the palms to face up towards the sky. Okay, now a dark sky here in Los Angeles and you folks on the East Coast. And drawing you down into rest. And part of the key is seeing how you can be awake in your waking life, and yet meander through what we just develop in relation to our central nervous system, this calm, in a different way, and feeling at peace, rested and clear and open, honest and true. And I would encourage you to stay here for as long as you like. As long as it feels good. Soak it up. You're like a sponge right now. Soak it up. Have a beautiful sleep. Thank you all so much and for sharing your detox and this practice with me. And I'll see you in the morning for flow, everybody. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Namaste.